Ready? You good?
Yeah.
All right.
The name of my company is Timebomb Kustoms in Bedford, Indiana. I've been pinstriping 12 years and doing tanks and helmets, 5 of those, and specialize in motorcycle paint, helmet paint, pinstriping. I guess you could say I lettered vans, lettered my van. So I like painting because it's challenging. Trying to make everything look a little, different every time you paint it. To fit the customer's needs. Most people generally want the same things. You just have to figure out ways to rearrange them to make everything look different and, give the customer something unique, or, everybody to be running around with the same damn tank out there. So, yeah, it's challenging. It's a process for sure. It's a huge process. I guess people see it on Instagram and, think it's easy, but, when you start with something that's bare metal and you build it up to, this, or, like what's called, some of the stuff that's in the case. I mean, people don't see the countless hours that are in it, just the hours of sanding and prepping it before you even get it to this point. And then, once it's to this point, you've still got, 20 hours worth of work put into it before it's even remotely done. I started painting full time. I was working in a factory for 8 to 10 hours a night, and coming home and striping or doing paintings, after work, and basically coming home, paint at like 8 in the morning, painting until noon, taking a shower, going to bed, getting up, going to work, and then, I just started going to shows. And at the time, I was making more money at a show than I made in a month at my factory job. So in 2006, I quit my factory job and just started painting full time. And started out, it's kind of funny. I started out striping and painting in the laundry room at my mom's house. There was a little counter back there with cabinets and stuff that I guess was meant to, fold laundry and stuff on, but I just started painting on it and, base coating things or whatever out in the garage, and then did that for a while. And then 4 years ago, I moved to Bloomington, had a shop over on South Rogers, left that shop, come to Bedford, had a shop across town from where I am now, and was there about 2 years. Sadly, the old woman that owned the building I was in died. She got cancer and died. And so I had to leave. And I come here, and I've been here ever since. And I was here for a year before I even painted the windows. I just come in and worked. I didn't even mess with it. It's funny, I had more people stopping in to see what I did before I painted my windows. Now, I couldn't leave the door unlocked before I painted my windows. People would just walk in and want to know what I was doing. Now I got the windows painted and it tells what I do, so nobody comes in. And I guess they know what I do now. So either that, or I was just mean to everybody that came in, and it's got around town that I'm kind of a jerk if you walk in. It's just quite possible. I don't really have a huge name. I can't guarantee that, if I paint a bike for you, it's going to get in the magazine or whatever. But I'm going to give you a damn good looking bike. And I have painted some that's been in magazines, so that's pretty cool. There's a few on the wall there, one of them in particular that was on the cover of the magazine. The bike I painted, on the wall, there's a Sporty over there on the wall that I did for TC Brothers out of Ohio, and it was on the cover of the horse 2 years ago, I think. And it was in the horse, and then I've had a shovel head I painted in there. I've had 2 bikes in Show Class magazine. I think 2. Yeah, 2. And painted my old bike, my old KZ. There's pictures of it up there on the wall too. It was, it was pretty good. That was a cool little bike. I did it, and it was just a 400, and a lot of people said, it wasn't really it wasn't that big a deal because it was a 400. But I got that little bike in 2 invite-only shows, and I got it in Fuel Cleveland last year, and the year before last it was in the last Oily Souls that they did. And those are invite-only shows. So, and then I turned around and sold it for probably Sportster money, and so yeah, that was pretty cool. So, I mean, I've had a couple other bikes in Fuel, or one other bike in Fuel that I painted, and painting this right now for Vanilla Cycles, and they say there's going to be another one that I paint after that. I don't know. We'll see. Eventually, the goal is to actually have a house with the shop behind the house. Not have a separate shop, because it does get expensive paying for a house, paying for a shop, and paying for the the overhead here, the rent, utilities, the heat. I mean, in the dead of winter, it costs almost $400 a month just to heat this place. So this is an old building. This building's been here since like the 1920s or something. So you can only imagine how well it's insulated and how much it leaks air. And eventually, I'd like to get into painting. Eventually, get into painting like roofs of cars. I don't know if I want to do whole cars, but I did a roof for of a '53 Cranbrook for my current shop neighbor Ryan. We just flaked it real heavy and red, and that was pretty fun. Like once I got it straightened out, it was challenging because it was the biggest thing I ever flaked or painted, but I got it done. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it didn't have to look perfect, because if you saw the whole car, you'd understand. It's painted with rattle cans and things like that. So, but it's got this big sparkly metal flake roof now. So it's pretty rad. I had fun doing that. I wouldn't mind eventually I am going to paint a van, fully paint a van. It'll be one of mine before it's ever anybody else's, if I even do them for anybody else. It'll either be this one behind me or the Dodge, or if I get rid of both that one and the Dodge, it'll be another one, because I've got my eye on another one right now. So just the thing that makes mine unique is, I mean, everybody's got their own little thing. Usually, a lot of us don't even sign our work, because you can look at it and be like, so-and-so did that, or so-and-so did that, Jason did that, or whatever. I use, everything, a lot of what I do, I guess the best way to put it is simple. It's almost like a traditional tattoo. Simplicity holds up. You're painting, a 2-gallon, maybe 2.5-gallon motorcycle tank, which you can see they're not that big. You don't have to shove 50 pounds of shit into a 5-pound bag to get it to look good. Just, follow the lines of the tank and do something that works. As much as I like paint jobs and I like metal flake, I don't think the paint job should be the one thing that just, punches you in the face. You should walk up to a bike or a car or a van and be like, that's cool, and they did this here, and that there, and look at this, and it's like my 400 I had. It was funny. I walked up on some dudes at Fuel Cleveland talking about it, and as rowdy as that paint job was, they were talking about the frame, and they thought that the way a down tube curved that we did that, and it was actually where the stock swing arm had mounted, because it was a swing arm bike, and the guy that hardtailed it left where the swing arm bolted in there. So out of all, the flake, the pearl, the settling smoke, the big naked picture of Elvira on the tank, they were talking about the tube on the frame. So everything complemented each other. Everything should just flow really nice. And like I said, simplicity holds up. I mean, you don't need to put 20, not 20, but 10 colors, 10, 15 colors on the tank. It's just, you don't need to. Make something that looks good and is going to stand the test of time.